Let's do a quick treasure map playthrough for the new treasure map vs Zoro to super evolve Newgate with my best and optimized teams. But a quick disclaimer before we begin, you can still check out my preparation guide for replacement options and workarounds, but just completely disregard my alternative Intrusion team. It does not work as intended, and the debuffs without treasure map recruit Hiyori are way too many to overcome for that team. Everything else in the preparation guide can still be useful to you, but without further ado, let's get to the playthrough. Versus the Intrusion battle, I want to apologize in case you ruined your run with my alternative team. This is the optimal one you can possibly use. I understand if you can't use it, obviously. You want to find a different team. We want to enter on Sanji here from Zoro Sanji. We want to place Hiyori and Nami in the bottom row. We want to swap once to Zoro in stage number 1 so we can have the super swap and also remove both of the defensive effects the enemies get in stage 2. With Yamato you can enter on Dex and swap to the Q side whenever you like for the guaranteed Wano slot. Here we will super swap to Sanji and then activate him to remove the defensive effects and increase our damage. And we also make everyone Free Spirit Slasher so we evade the attack down in the final stage. And for some reason the Zoro Sanji activation here was really laggy, maybe because we have lots of debuffs and buffs and mechanics in this quest and the game cannot handle it, I'm not really sure. But after Zoro Sanji we activate Luffy to give Hiyori a rainbow slot and increase our damage, and then we activate Hiyori, who needs to be in the bottom row to have the rainbow slot to remove poison and the healing debuffs, which by the way paired up with pain in this quest are extremely annoying to deal with. I called it since the new treasure map batch breakdown. Hiyori is extremely niche, which will make her so hard to replace in the treasure map, and it came out true, unfortunately for a lot of players. Just a very poorly designed Intrusion in my opinion, centered a lot around the new batch. With this team here though, we activate Luffy's super type to free Nami from special bind, then we activate Nami to give Luffy his special back, we activate Luffy to remove paralysis, gain rainbow slots, we also gained lots of damage, now we attack with a rainbow slot, break the barrier and clear the quest. Versus Speed, the new Pirate King Adventures Newgate is essentially all you need. We are going to use him as double captain, and after Speed's preemptive we are going to activate one of them. He will deal with literally all of the debuffs on the stage. You can use whatever crewmate you like, but someone to give you better slots or increase damage can help you beat easier in the later navigation levels. I'm using Bone Clay, but of course he is not necessary. I will just attack now and defeat Speed. Versus Carrot, I am going to use double Roger Oden as captain, but if you don't have Roger Oden, using them as only friend captain will work just fine. Vitus Shanks can be your captain, and then they will resist despair in the final stage. We will activate Toki to remove special bind from everyone. Then we activate the EX super and then special of Roger Oden to manipulate all of the block slots into guaranteed Wano, increase our damage and early on beat Carrot because of their damage. But later on of course you also want to activate Shanks to remove paralysis and then attack her. Versus Cat Viper, we are going to use Super Sugofest Law as double captain, but if you miss him, using him just as a friend captain will do the job. Also, this Pirate King Adventures Luffy is not the super evolved version, it is the 5-star Luffy. We are going to use the 5+ in another quest, and he is very helpful to provide Law with super type, remove despair, and even make all of our slots into guaranteed RCV matching. What we are going to do first though is activate the Law special and super type to provide our team with an attack boost, apply increased damage taken to Nekomamushi, heal and manipulate the block slots. Then we want to activate our paralysis reducer, in this case Kinemon, to deal with paralysis. Then comes Luffy to remove despair and provide us with the full board of guaranteed RCV matching slots. And finally comes Hina to remove attack down and also provide us with a damage reduction shield so we can easily survive the after defeat hit. The Okiku Otoko special is not important, so you can replace them and Hina, if you perhaps miss Hina, with an attack down remover and someone to reduce damage. Versus Robin and Jinbe, we will show the full playthrough because we want to manipulate the Zoro Sanji super swap. We need them at least as friend captains, you don't need to have them. but with your friend captain enter on Zoro, swap once in stage 1, don't tap the units, the Zoro Sanji units, just attack with the other units and beat the turtles, and then in stage 2 swap them again. Now you can attack with everyone and defeat these enemies as well. So in the final stage we can super swap to Sanji, have color advantage and the ability to remove both the threshold and the defense up because of the dual form special. Bandai also made changes to the mechanics of this quest, so we don't need a support to reduce Luffy's special cooldown reduction in the final stage anymore, just place him in the middle row and activate him first to remove special bind from everyone. Fear is resisted because of Zoro Sanji captain of course, and because Luffy provides an ore boost, we will be interrupted and our slots will be binded. Luffy can actually resist it, but we don't really care, we have enough damage anyway. Then activate the unit for special cooldown reduction, in my case Carrot Wanda, to provide Zoro Sanji with their special back. Then super swap to Sanji, activate him to remove the defensive effects and increase your damage even more, and beat the enemies. Versus the main boss, Zoro, this will be my best team at the moment, with the full new treasure map bats. We are going to use V2 Yamato as well, and treasure map Momonosuke. Some important stuff here. I am actually gaining access to Luffy's super type from the start of the quest, so I can activate one of his super type abilities in stage 2 to deal with special bind. So then we can activate our specials, which will be Hiyori's, because he will deal with the poison slots, will make all of them matching and remove the blindness, so we can hit perfect to break all 3 of the enemy barriers. Of course, Luffy's super type will also provide us with a conditional attack boost. And then after Hiyori, to have more damage, I will also activate one of our Luffy specials to defeat everyone super easily after hitting the perfects. At any point in this quest you can also swap Yamato to the Q side, either here or in the next stage to get a guaranteed Wano slot, but we want to activate her on the Q side of course, to have color advantage versus Zoro in the final stage. I will swap her here, then defeat everyone, and after defeat, Zoro will do an HP cut for 80% of our HP, and we have tons of HP, so the HP cut will help Luffy activate his special again automatically in the final stage, which will deal with special bind, paralysis, provide us with good slots, and more damage once again. After Luffy's automatic activation, we want to activate Nami, who resisted the special rewind and can now provide Yamato with her special bag, but can also give us an ore boost. And then we want to activate the Q side of Yamato to increase our damage even more, but more importantly, remove Zoro's damage reduction shield. Then we can one-tap Zoro. We still have one super type and one Luffy special remaining. So after Zoro's revive, we want to activate Luffy's super type first to remove special bind, and then we want to activate his special to also remove paralysis, manipulate slots again, and increase our damage to one-tap Zoro again and clear the quest. For an alternative and way more accessible team versus the final boss, Zoro, we are going to use Sai, free-to-play Straw Hat 5+ Luffy as captain. Any other strong Sai captain will work here and can even take you further in navigation levels, like Bon Clay for example, but it needs to be a Sai unit, so Usopp can meet the requirement in his sailor ability and remove blindness completely in stage 2. He doesn't need to be any specific level limit break level since we are not going to use his special though. Our friend captain is still the new treasure map legend Luffy, and he needs to gain access to his super type to activate it immediately in stage 2 after the preemptive, which happens because we have Usopp, Sanji and Robin in the crew, Then after we free our units from special bind, we activate Treasure Map Film Red Sanji to make all of the poison slots into guaranteed matching, and then you can also activate Luffy's special, the friend captain one, to gain more damage and easily beat the enemies. But if you think it is not important now, and you want to use it after Zoro's revive, you can also do that. Generally activate your friend captain special whenever you feel like you need more damage. In the final stage now, something very important. First of all, Luffy will activate his special automatically, removing paralysis and special bind, but also providing us with good slots and damage. But in order to beat Zoro, we need to remove damage reduction. And we also get special rewind here on our units, and Reiju can only remove 5 turns of damage reduction, not 6. She can also not resist the special rewind, so we need free-to-play Sora support on her to provide her with her special back, then activate it to reduce 5 out of the 6 turns of damage reduction, and then I have limited rare recruit Sai Viola on Sanji, where I hit a perfect and can reduce 1 extra turn of damage reduction, so we can easily beat Zoro for the first time. If he is high enough in level limit break level, our Captain Luffy resists the paralysis technically, but in case you swap him out for Bon Clay or another Sai Captain, we have Treasure Map Orobi to remove both the special bind and the paralysis from everyone, and then you can activate your Captain for a bit more damage or better slots, and then attack Zoro again to defeat him for good. And these are my personal best and optimized teams for the new Treasure Map vs Zoro. As always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.